everyone, and welcome to Ecopsych EXP, where we take a stroll through the forest of eco-psychological themes in video games. My name is Casey, and I'm a doctoral candidate at Veritas Graduate Institute. Thanks so much for joining me. My core message is that video games can and do foster ecological empathy and combat apathy and doomism. I love video games, and I see them as a force for so much good, and I hope that this always comes through in my videos. Today I'm going to be playing the game The End Is Nahual, if I may say so, while sharing an interview with developer Blas David Castañeda of Third World Productions. Third World Productions, founded by Blas, is a Mexican indie studio. He also organized an event on the Steam digital store called Mexican Entertainment System, which features Mexican developers offering discounts on their games as well as serving as an overall celebration of Mexican culture and developers. There's so much that could be said about this witty and referential labor of love game, but I think it best that the Steam page speaks for itself, to get you in the right headspace, if you will. Here goes, and I quote, "Okay, look, I'm not going to get into spoiler territory, but that is the gist of it. Even though you are mostly made out of nothingness that is filling every space between the atoms inside you, being part of you, consuming you, forcing you to read this, forcing you to change, is that not a reason enough to be scared? What will you do with that knowledge? Will you embrace it or reject it? Should we do something about it? Or do what we're mostly filled with? Nothing? I mean, even if you're a bunch of something, does the empty space matter less? It's less matter, but does it matter less? Does the space between the letters matter less than the words themselves? Let's just show you an example. Can you read and define the following text? Attempt at text. Nelian iki nelian senson telilikuika. Okay, did you understand it? Most of you probably didn't, and you know why? Lack of empty space. See my point? So anyway, a witch fled after trying to kill the Nahual queen. I mean, she failed, but who hasn't failed to kill a Nahual queen? A relatable thing to which anyone, even Steve, can relate. Then there is this Nahual princess called Samael, which doesn't use her original name anymore. She wants to feel safe. She wants to obliterate humanity because we have been naughty. Or, at the very least, just become really hard to kill, which will help her too. And Jacob. They'll talk with you, they'll ask you how your day was and not care too much about it, and they'll follow your lead. You will be the enabler in their stories. You'll help them get to the end. And I will know if you did. Steam has an achievement percentage public to everyone. At least get one of them. Fight anything from trash bags to evil spirits, solve puzzles with puns, evade piñata sticks, and use literally anything. And use literally nothing to win. Okay, so we could divide the game into 3 sections. Puzzle ones. In the first one, you would get challenged by puzzles, like weird ones, like combining the speed of light with something else. I don't remember well as I haven't played the game yet. I'm from the marketing team. Also, use some salsa for motivation or accept your actual value in this world and use it to your advantage. Action ones. In this section, you'll have to evade projectiles and stabs unless you want or need to be hit. Then do what you want. Counterattacks. Use your hips. Destroy your spacebar. Visual novel 3s. For the visual novel aspect, you'll either have to read it or skip it. The choice is yours. Get to the end, 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 get to the end. At the very least, defeat the trash bags. We will know. We always know. Okay, let's dive in and see what we have here. Before we start, you can go to the next dialog box by either pressing left click or by pressing the spacebar. If you want to advance more quickly through the dialog, just press and hold shift. Any shift will do. Thank you for your purchase or morally dubious download. You're welcome. I did get it on a sale. Okay, the chingada is taking me away because I missed. I was there at the great, that went faster. Great Nahual Queen and her dumb daughter was also there and I failed. Coming all the way to the great city of, oh god, I can never pronounce things. Atlan, which shares the name with the continent All for Nothing. How did we get into this mess? put my hand in the air, gave all our power in one big-ass attack. And I go like, "Withstand my glory, you beast." So that I looked fancy. And failed. I first asked, "The End Is Nahual is refreshingly unconventional in its storytelling and gameplay. How would you describe its unique essence to someone completely new to your world?" The answer? I don't know. Imagine giving power to a bald Mexican person. Imagine what they could do with that. Imagine that that power is unrestricted. Imagine then that somebody makes a game with a really limited budget, a game way too big for their abilities, and that person, maybe, can pull it off. Imagine if the ending was like jazz. Imagine, if you will, that we're kind of free. I like the music. It was hypnotic to me. I was lost in the moment. The simple thought of murdering the cause of all human suffering, as no human suffers for itself. I posed as a sacrifice. The Nahuals provided me with a cute dress and fancy jewelry, all of this to decorate me. Before my body and soul would be devoured by their Nahualic jaws. Which might sound weird at first, but I sometimes put ribbons to adorn tamales, so I kind of get it. I came from the other side of the continent to get what was rightfully mine, justice, but instead, I just effed it up, YouTube. What in the Mictlan was I supposed to do? Cry? Apologize for attempted murder? Psh, what were they going to do to me after that? I was already a sacrifice. Could I be double dead? I don't effing know. They could have put my soul on an object or gotten me to do bureaucratic work. Ugh, the horror. A fate worse than death, I agree. But whatever, everything is left. I failed. The only thing I could do was to run away. But never mind this. Help me find a way to block this door before someone stabs me in the back. Which is a new experience I don't want to have today. Clicky click. I'd really like to block the entrance before we move on, if you please. Oh, I'm not meant to be clicky clicking. Okay, yeah. I heard you, girly. Let's block the entrance. That's new. Fire Guardian. Behold, mortal. I'm already beholding. This was the last human who tried to come through here. Fire burned him just like fire does. I really like the writing in this game. He's in a better place now, and you will be there too if you dare to face me. This body's bones are all fractured. The gun is in fact intact. No fire was involved in this poor bastard's death. But if someone's death happened next to you, you might as well use it to intimidate a poor uncharged witch. And we'll probably need to kill it because it's in our way. Humor, surrealism, and a touch of existential reflection seem woven deeply into your game's fabric. What influenced this creative blend, and why did it feel important to present your ideas this way? I mean, somebody said that I use drugs because of the way that I make games, and I have to make it clear that every decision that I have made completely sober and with full mental capacity. That said, I usually take everything that I see as an inspiration. I had inspiration from smaller games, and I really love RPGs. My favorites this far are Lisa the Painful, and for non-RPG games, I really love One Shot, and some AAA games, which I noticed that my favorites are also RPGs, including games like the Nier series and the Paper Mario series, and some weird animation movies, including the works of Satoshi Kon and Masaki Yuasa. And I felt I could show my ideas this way because nobody stopped me. Any ideas? Oxygen deprivation does kill fire. 'Tis true what they say. Unbelievable. You have really outdone yourself. You always say something dumb. Glad this wasn't the case. But yeah, cutting the air from the fire source, excuse me, wouldn't be that bad of an idea. It just makes sense. Sorry, I forgot the parentheses. Cutting... What does this do? A magical mirror flimsily holding its position. Sadly, I don't have enough magical power to unbalance it. I wasted it all protecting my life out there, and I'm not waiting an entire day to recharge it. So let's discover new ways of destroying public property together. Sorry, bro. You received the following items. Rammer, great for ramming it in. Bullet, useless against bulletproof things. Musket, the deadliest weapon in warfare. As long as you have the time needed to reload it. For real, though. The weapon is dry now and the target is less than 100 meters away. Can we make it? Gunpowder, made from bigger guns being torn into pieces. There's no human way of combining 4 items at the same time. That's where you're wrong, Fiery. Click, click, click. Oops, I missed a dialogue. But... oh, there it is. You may have stolen a weapon, but it will be useless against me. I did miss the instructions. What have I done? Weapon, weapon, weapon. Aha! I for inventory. Pressing random keys for the win. Okay. Equals... Gun loaded. Everything is set on place, but something is missing. What? Fire? What's missing? Can I mix you with yourself? Nope. The power of a mirror? No. Click, 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 click. Hey. No mortal weapon can harm me. I know, but that's not what I needed from you, Fire Beast. So we did need fire to ignite it. Okay, just a little bit. I don't want it to explode.
Hey, is it hot in here or is that just me?
Set and ready to fire. Now how do I fire it? No. Oh, you? I told you, I'm bulletproof. Do you know what? I'm going to believe you, because that's what heroes do. I'll have to kill you in another way. Can I throw him in the water? Yeah. Same old tired song and dance, buddy. Can you cry on him? The art style beautifully blends pixel art with modern techniques. Can you share your inspirations behind this choice and what emotions or experiences you hope players feel when they engage visually with the game? I had a lot of types of artists working on the game, so the best approach that I had was to take them into consideration and blend their work in the best way I could. And I think I did an okay job blending my work with theirs, and I hope the player can see all the variety of work that we put into the game. I put the gun in the water? Nope. Can I shoot the mirror with the gun? Aha! Gotcha! Clink! Mission accomplished. Here I am, the warrior crossing my path, as there isn't anything else to do but to fight. The gods might be blind and deaf, but I need them right now. 3 hours maximum of prayer. Prayer call should suffice. I need to achieve the madness state. After that, I'll need to stay in line and wait for a response. I don't care what I have to face. I'll face it in due time. Let's do this. I like our prayer call waiting music. Spiritual call connected. I shall take your form to ease this transition. Thank you. Mighty kind of you. Stating a popular phrase for easiness of cultural and spiritual connection to lower beings. The chingada has taken me away, yo. Do you feel the connection, human? Oh, I'm feeling it, Mr. Krabs. Alright, human, your call is of importance to us. Do you pledge your allegiance to us, the spiritual realm, and not those filthy Nahual's beasts without a heart? Yes. Correct. Now state your wants, human. I want to escape this place. I want the power to destroy the Nahual Queen. I want a raise. I don't want anything right now, thanks. I could do with a raise. Thank you for your call. You'll need to stay in line. This process might take from 1 hour to 5 days. Thanks for your patience. Oh, great deities, creators of the sun, moon, and stars, for you we live and die. As you give us victory in war and prosperity and peace, we entrust ourselves, as you are good, wise, and truthful. Help one of your followers. And give me my freaking raise. Day 1, the one everyone likes, but it's flawed. I'd like to remind you that your call is really important to us. Is there a survey I get to take too? Because we love you, as you're our child, but we ain't paying child support yet. Day 2, the one that perfected the formula, and it's considered the best in the series. We're trying our best to connect you to the closest deity. Day 3, the one that tried to change the formula, but failed. But it has a lot of critical acclaim. Did we choose the wrong option? I feel as though we didn't, but perhaps, game, you're insinuating that we did. You are right. Did we just F ourselves over? Was I wrong for picking a raise? Queen, never apologize for picking the raise. You're worth it. L'Oreal, because you're worth it. It is clearly obvious that the cause of our failure was a lack of resources. Maybe I could afford a project manager that could run our murder team. Aren't wars a thing because someone wants resources, woman power, medals, and tortillas? It's not what every man strives for. It's not what every man strives for itself. Day 4. The one when they tried to regain the magic of the first one, but everything felt forced. We love humans and their dumb antics, but you need to be patient. Time flows different right here. What else could I buy? I'd like to buy more foreign books. Since the last human invasion to regain Atlan, they're becoming more prominent. I could buy new puzzles, weird ones, those that corrupt the soul and mind. I could go for a good corruption right about now. It beats waiting. Shit, if the puzzle adventure I'm making sells well enough, I might afford commodities like food and rent. But never mind, I'm feeling optimistic. I'm feeling full of life, and no one is taking it away. I know that next day my call will be answered, and we can solve our shitty life. Positive attitude. Day 5, we fired the original day creator and decided to hire new talent. Talent which grew up living on day 1 and day 2. The result is fine, I suppose. Nothing spectacular. Very derivative. Lacks that original spark. Your call has been disconnected. Please try again soon. Click. Blas. You began your creative journey in music before transitioning into game development. How do you see your musical background influencing the rhythm or flow of your game's narrative and gameplay? A lot of sound effects were made with virtual instruments, so that's one. I also do some testing with music, with creating layers of audio in some parts, so I think that me knowing how to compose and program music makes me capable of doing some cool stuff with the music and audio. Enough. Why have you forsaken me in my time of need? The Nahuals conquered our lands and used our people as slaves and fodder while you did nothing. Please, give me what I deserve. Give me what has been promised to me. Give me revenge. Furthermore, if you avoid or dismiss my plea to you, I shall take this temple with me. Every effing rock in this temple. Oh, now. Crazy witch, calm down. What are you calling crazy, Smurfy guy? Count to 10, starting from 0, which the East cities use. And look, you could get angry at the gods being a bunch of bastards, but there's not much they could do. They promised not to return to this world because they didn't want to lower their expectations again. I understand. So maybe there is a way to give you a boost. To give you hoppity hope. Hoppity hope? Hoppity hope. I like hoppity hope because there is something to live for. What? Then, let's make a deal. Since I have been captivated by your perseverance, sadness, and indignity for power, which is something endearing to me, as it served as a reminder of myself when I was alive, help me complete a great puzzle, 3 days in the making, masterpiece, and free from this world. 3 days, but I was waiting like 4 days. There were 5 days, but on the second day, I remembered that I could make a great puzzle to test you. Then I shall give up my responsibilities and become mother effing free. I lasted 3 days making this puzzle. If you finish it, you shall receive infinite powers. Itty bitty living space. Sounds like a good deal. I haven't heard that term before, but I really like how infinite powers sounds. Do you accept then? Heck yeah, we accept. You'll have to complete 3 poems. I might give you some tools to solve them. Talk with me again. Also, if you feel overwhelmed by the text, these are your friends. The text is the best part, come on now. You've spoken passionately about representing Mexican culture authentically. Can you share a moment during the game's development when you felt especially proud of how your heritage was coming to life in the End Is Nahual? We're really funny people. We like to expose that to the world, and we're also resilient and hardworking, so I really wanted to portray that in my game. Alright, talk with you again. Let's talk. Alright, what do you want to talk about? What do I do? You'll need to get items. I'll provide them by answering some simple questions. Then fill the poem. We call them homonyms, words that sound the same like peace and peace. Those are more specifically homophones, as homophones also have different writing. My master in Invader Grammatic Truths has paid off. Alright, what do you want to talk about? Never mind. Show me these poems. As I trust my body and soul to the heavens. Come on, it's pretty easy. We need something that sounds familiar to what's needed. Come on, witch, come forth and proclaim your destiny. Okay, they don't move. Let's talk. How did you get those powers? I came from a foreign land in the east, so far east that you might say it's the west. I get it. This was 330 years ago, to be precise. I was young, I was educated, and some power. Some powerful man came from the continent of Atlan, saying he wanted an army that they could retake Atlan, then the city for humankind. He was the Teo Koyani, the one that'll give humanity its destiny and form. He also had this catchphrase, keep your center, which might come of importance later. He was infatuated with arches, especially the center rock, as the center is the most important part, but it also carries the least weight. That's true. Well, never mind that. I finally saw my way out of a comfortable middle-class life and into infinite power. In order to get more power, I needed to go to him and pretend to be his... I don't know, lover? What? No. But now that you mention it, there is a city from the west who thinks that doing that will strengthen the bonds between soldiers. They have a saying. If this goes well, we might even start inviting women. Ooh, they're getting wild over there. Looks like they were having fun. And then they defeated one of the greatest armies in the world by putting way too much men on the left flank. It was glorious. In order to get more power, I needed to go to him and pretend to be his... friend? Something a bit more casual, please. In order to get more power, I needed to go to him and pretend to be his... compatriot, paramour, comrade, I guess buddy. Buddy, a friend, or pal, whatever. A word just appeared in my inventory. This puzzle might be to my liking. Nonetheless, continue. Game development in Mexico comes with unique hurdles, from funding to visibility. What keeps you resilient, inspired, and hopeful despite these challenges? I really don't know. I have been stubborn my whole life. I lived through an accident that left me paralyzed from the waist down, and some doctors said that I would never walk again. And after a lot of work, I did manage to walk again. Maybe it's something ingrained in myself. I wanted to be his apprentice, but he didn't want shit from me because he already had 3. Nevertheless, he also needed extra help, so I became his secretary. So I just waited. Did my job with diligence, and everything he asked for was done in time and form. I was the best at my job. I was better than those pesky apprentices of his. Every language trips me up, man. Some time passed. I waited for 5 long years until he finished building an army and was ready to sail back. But he got sick, not by my hand or leg, but by destiny. He feared the worst, he needed a successor, and he also wanted to pick anyone but me. An apprentice who always questioned other people's way of life, but never proposed a useful alternative, was his choice. So I used my secretary powers and gave him the wrong date, then dressed up like him and shaved. I was ready to lie my way up to superpowers. And then I took the mother effort in the... Alright, look. Ha. Now, eyes is obvious. Let's go for soul, just so he can tell us that it's eyes. Something a little less pretentious, please. See, I knew. Then I looked the mother effort in the eyes. You got... I see you, mortal. What? That's it, witch. Let's make haste then. A puzzle isn't a puzzle without the shock factor. A puzzle has to be a life-changing experience. For the worse, apparently. There is an eye on my inventory. There is an eye on my inventory. A sacred place. Just you wait. Continue. He didn't look at me. He was lost in thought. He was a great man, literally 2.2 meters of humanity, which 300 years ago was the tallest I had ever seen. He was a builder, as you know. Teo Koyani powers change depending on the person. I didn't know that. All of this is new for me. Let me continue. He was the greatest builder that I have known. He was almost as good at building stuff as he was making excuses for not delivering them in time. A true creative. But it didn't matter how long he took, it was always worth it. He also made puzzles as a hobby, said that if someone solved his great masterpiece, or masterpiece as he called it, he'll give his blessings and powers. It was nothing more than a block puzzle, the lowest type of puzzle that there is. How rude. As a masterpiece? I solved it, oh so quickly. He gave me his blessing, and until then he noticed something strange. It wasn't the super apprentice who solved the masterpiece, it was the secretary. He was enveloped by madness, started with a laugh, then the laugh became a cough, and the cough became a scream in the form of, "The center was kept," then became death. I got what I wanted. Not counting the corpse on the floor, I was happy. Let's plug in our new words. Jacob and Samael seem crafted to evoke a wide range of emotions, from humor to introspection. How do you hope players' experiences with the characters might influence their own views on empathy and understanding others? We are complex creatures. Any mistake or success that we make in our lives is under a lot of info gathered through our years of living. So the more that you know about something, the better that you might understand about them. Can we not? Can buddy be body? Hey. I didn't get any. Okay. Fair enough. Let's chit-chat some more, Pally. Did the other apprentices find out? Of course they did. They went to confront me. They told me that I was an asshole. I don't know, man. They don't pay me enough for this. Exactly. You mother effing, you mother effing did it. It's so much harder to censor this than to just say the words. I'm so proud of you. What type of madness have you unleashed upon my inventory? My inventory is a sacred place. Only the mightiest of items, or at the very least useful items, may reside. And this item is a disgrace. You can have your traumatic breakdown later, when you have power and you're of importance. Not right now. Continue. Humor can sometimes create unexpected moments of vulnerability. Was there a specific character interaction or narrative moment that surprised you in how deeply it resonated emotionally, even through comedy? I cried during the writing process of this game. I laughed, and I had a bunch of emotions during the development of the game. A part that I feel strongly was in the first ending of the game, where someone is talking with the dead body of a friend and living through all the emotions. They confronted me and then began to be a problem. Had to eliminate them. Then I took care of the problem. Did you kill them? Murdering is only done by cowards. So I contracted a bunch of cowards. I seized their property and money. As their secretary, I had access to all of that. And I contracted 10,000 cowards to go on a murdering adventure to this continent. But, as everything in life, it ended with me being the sole survivor. A part of a shoe. Stop putting items in my inventory. You were the only survivor then? Until you weren't. So, we got a word. I have something that goes with that. Oh, okay. Now we're cooking with some fire.
Own it. You, me, and Disney Channel. Imagine you're that.
Ass. I said ass. As I went down to the river to pray. kidding. Totes lies. Okay, that was easy. You must feel proud of yourself. I mean, this puzzle seems too weak for me. Was it worth wasting my time and the players by making such a sinful puzzle? It was pretty darn easy, Blue Buddy. That was really fun. Condemning your soul to eternal damnation by disrespecting the gods. Was it worth it? Like, yeah, probably. Anyway, you must believe that you are the very, very. It's something that you say to someone full of themselves. I'm gathering today a lot of useless information. Let's continue with your magical, life-changing journey. The Nahual entities blur lines between human, animal, and magical beings. How do you see this fluidity and identity encouraging players to reflect on their relationship to nature and other species? Sometimes arrogance wants to separate ourselves from anything from the meta world or animal. I think that we can understand such an abstraction of everything around us, that maybe we need to connect with every part of ourselves a little bit more. How are we going to do that? I have no idea. It's like an Avatar when they all go on a life-changing adventure with Prince Zuko.
I'm going with Zuko. What? Everyone else went on a life-changing field trip with Zuko. Now it's my turn.
Spirit Guardian and Poem 1. Big expectation. Big death. Oh yeah, there's more poems. I do remember that. Show me the poem. My spirit shall never flee, for I shall fight for my kin. Okay. So we're probably looking for flea as in the bug. This is the easiest part of them all. What do you want to talk about? How do you get here? I feel like you just skipped a lot of lore, like 25 years. Who could do that abomination? At the very least, tell me what happened in between, starting by how did you get here? Getting here was easy. You just need to pay your toll to the cosmic abomination, which is a big-ass water serpent. Duh. I've never seen a cosmic abomination before. What does it look like? You'll see one soon, don't worry. But if you have to describe that one in particular, imagine how a person afraid of mollusks and the poor would describe one, and that's it. That doesn't explain anything. Doesn't it, though? Then go find one when you get your powers, which... The point that I'm trying to make is that sailing here was the easiest part. Conquering this land. Lines of supplies, diseases, and having a good enough strategy so that you'll always prevail. That's the hardest part. So I see what I had available and created a new bold strategy. I called that strategy Pikes and Guns. Revolutionary. Never been done before. Incredible. I wonder what that's about. You use the guns to shoot from a distance, which may be inaccurate, but it'll pierce a Nahual's skull. Oh. New models are way better, and shooting things have become more streamlined. Anyway. And pikes, in which you grab a bunch of long-ass spears and you put them in a critical mass in order to be impregnable. Mass. It measures the resistance to acceleration and also shows the quantity of matter within an object. The playful absurdity in your puzzles, such as combining abstract scientific ideas with everyday items, suggests seeing the world differently. Do you think your puzzles encourage players to reconsider how they view their everyday surroundings, especially the overlooked or empty spaces around them? I hope so. The thing that I wanted to give the player is some sense of surprise and childlike wonder, and maybe be a little bit mad at me, but just a little bit. I want them to express emotions through the process of problem solving in the game. Amazing. The only things we learned in school were math, how to control the population using eclipses, and how to make temples with traps. Eclipses, ha! Yeah, okay. That's funnier in context than... Yeah. Puzzle control, emotional design, and how to grab a still beating heart. Also, the invaders' language, so that we could communicate with the descendants of the first, second, and third waves of invaders that came to Atlan. All of them failed, and some of them survived. I'm going to assume that you were the first one. All of them failed? On their own special ways. Yes. And most of them just updated our immune systems with your diseases, which may have happened because you sacked a lot of agricultural areas and starved the big cities into submission. Some of us survived. That reminded me, after we took the coastal cities at the east, a plague erupted at our camp. A plague that even after death I had to deal with. A plague that, later in death, made me realize that the universe was wrongfully made. Because when you ascend to the astral plane, it recreates your cell's form from mass into light. Then it discriminates against anything outside a range of size, so it won't be reproduced as light. Tongue twisty. Which represents faithfully what you are in the astral plane, not just a copy. Oh, this is getting spicy. The thing that is still alive, but is tiny enough to be part of that system of astral projection, is a flea. It was flea. Disgusting beings which transcend death and soap. Mother effing fleas. 300 years I had to live with them, just because someone didn't give proper order to the universe, because the gods wasted astral projections, but didn't want to put the hard work into it. Bastards. Bastards. So there hasn't been anything but surprises here. Show me the poem. Oh, yeah. I gotcha. Alright. Flea. Boom. But the biggest surprise that I had was the Nahuals themselves. We have monsters in my homeland, but they don't develop a culture. They just want to eat shit and disturb the peace. The Nahuals gave themselves a purpose. They don't mind if you kill them in sacred combat, they mind if you kill them in bunch, as I realized later. They'll reward you if you defeat them in a fair fight. You'll get the best honor they could provide you. Then you'll become an honorific Nahual. A Nahual warrior. The game's comedic approach to serious topics seems to offer a subtle remedy against apathy. Could you share your thoughts to humor's potential role in motivating players to stay curious and engaged, even when facing bleak scenarios? I still believe that one of the stronger tools that we have as humans is empathy, which comes from understanding, and this at the same time can be enhanced by connecting with the player and making them feel stuff seems like a really good way of doing that. I want them to be spooked and make them smile, hopefully at the same time. I could try that later. The important thing is that even when they need to absorb human souls and bodies, they make it a show. They make you believe that you were the chosen one, that you're great, and your ass is nutritious. Heard it all before. Some people defended that behavior, given the possibility to ascend and get that power. Saying that, this kind of behavior was really popular in the city, not so much in other parts. Especially with the families of the slaughtered. Yeah, can't imagine it would go over big with them. But the slaughtered always seemed happy. They were the stars and moon of Atlan. End poem 2. How to conquer Atlan. Show me the third poem. Until my enemy's fear is greater than their will. Okay. Tell me a tale. This is the hardest part in the game. What do you want to talk about? What was the plan? How did you get that far? There are two parts for my master plan. The economic part, or the economic plan and war plan. Which one do you want to know about first? The economic plan, please. Okay, now you got the economic plan. I was chosen by the gods, not only yours, but mine too. I was smart, bearded, and bold, the traits of any great man. But that shit ain't enough. You need to pay wages, your soldiers also need to eat, they need entertainment, and if possible, sanitary enough conditions. You can want in one hand and in the other. See which fills up faster, baby. So, we brought mother effing cheese, and with it, we brought work, production, and change. The quesadilla market was ours for the taking, and there is little your people could do. Not the quesadillas. And we came up with a greater A grater what? No, a cheese grater. Duh. A grater. Yep. To help putting cheese in a quesadilla, because a quesadilla without cheese is not a quesadilla. It doesn't matter what the blasphemous say. The blasphemers. How would you even have a quesadilla without cheese? I'm actually enjoying this weird puzzle. I'm learning so much stuff. Third World Productions created the Mexican Entertainment System event on Steam, which is an inspiring initiative. What has organizing this event taught you about community, solidarity, and the strength of collective action among Mexican game developers? I don't think of it as an initiative because we have been making that for like 3 years now, I believe. I get to know a lot of people and help them see what can be done to improve their odds and their games, to see if as a group we can get even farther than what we may have to alone. But then something funny happened. I sent my best men to spy on the central market here in Etlan and see how we could introduce ourselves in the market. They asked for a quesadilla. The woman there, which had maize meal, lard, and sweat on her head, said, "May the gods bless those hands." Con queso? With cheese? Forget about it. That sounds horrible. It's in the name quesadilla. How can it be a quesadilla without queso? Queso flamero. Okay. I know, so our plan to seize the market to fund our invasion was gone, and we started sacking again. Let's go with the war plan. As you may know, because you failed to kill the Beast Queen, killing a Nahual is hard. Killing an army of Nahuals is really hard. Killing a cluster of a well-fed Nahual's army and a lot of human auxiliaries is a mighty nightmare. They could field up to 50,000 men, and 100th of that in Nahual kind. I knew my 10,000 wouldn't make it. So I levied and contracted with the local population. It is incredibly easy how it is to make a rebel of someone if their subjugators are into eating the population. Any tribe or city that crossed my path joined me. If they didn't, only the corpses and ashes remained. Because my men were great at open field battles and sieges, not so much on a smaller scale conflict, so that's where the native population came in handy. We started taking any food supplies we came across. Anything that we could take, we took. And the rest was burnt. It was great and warm. Yikes. Then we moved and hit as fast as the speed of light. Yep. The speed in which massless particles can travel through a vacuum. I have so many questions. You can answer them later by yourself. For now, could you repeat that last thing you said? Speed of light. Like speed of light, but squared C. Like speed of light, but doesn't like going to parties. The queen never saw it coming, and we were closer and closer to Atlan. Every day we became stronger, and they turned weaker. It was beautiful. It was fun. It was life-changing. It was a hallmark moment. After all of my rights and lefts, we managed to get to Atlan. The siege was quick. A good cannonball to the city doors, and we were good. Boom.
Ha! Boom, baby!
We poured through the city. The local militia followed behind, and the plunder began. We get our violence fill way quicker than the local allies. The men were scared, but I told them to let the locals be. They needed justice. No one murders, kills, and plunders like a father who has lost his family to a beast. It didn't matter if they were man, woman, Nahual, or child, almost everyone perished. And the queen, the Nahual queen and her evil army wasn't there. In contrast to the good butchering army of yours. Of course. Silence. There was no hope in finding her, but the riches were plentiful, not counting the multiple corpses on the floor. I was happy. Your next project, Archaic Memories, continues to highlight Mexican culture. How do you envision your games contributing long-term to the global gaming landscape, particularly in giving Mexican narratives and creators the platform and recognition they deserve? I hope for that a lot, but given the landscape, my hopes remain that I can make my team and I have a better living through our work, hopefully. Okay. I did forget what the poem originally was. Do we have anything? Okay. Until my enemies... is great. Okay, we have greater. What's this again? No. Yeah, you know, it was a long shot. Had to try. Talk to me. This is the hardest part in the game. Blah, blah, blah. How did it all end? In order to access this dialogue option, you'll need to have the equivalence between mass and energy in your inventory. Or an E. Thanks for your time. What I say, we need to restrict your progress so that we could control events and let you see things at the appropriate time. What do I do? Come on, it's pretty easy. You only need a combination of 3 things. A mass, energy equivalence, the letter M, questioning your own existence. See? Easy. F off. This is the hardest part. Okay. Never mind. This plus this. Description. Equivalence between mass and energy. How in the spiritual F did you guess that? I don't know. It just made sense. Or maybe someone cheated, but nevertheless, we're still here, and I'm gonna get my freaking powers. Last dialogue was unlocked. We even created a new dialogue box. Oh. Spiffy. Hey, this is not the new dialogue box. Imagine my surprise when the queen appeared the next day. I got my men in line and we pushed through. The Nahuals started running away. Yoinks! Love the art style. Literally thinking that, though. Good commentary, little witch. You can't begin to understand the rush that I felt when I managed to make the enemies of humankind flee from the city. They never run. They stayed and died on their feet. The terrain was crooked, but the line held on. No one can break our spear line from the front. Their army kept giving ground. Any Nahual that got too close was shot or poked. To be poked, though. My line started showing cracks, but I was so close. I wasn't going to let my weak-ass battle line stop me. The locals fought with valor, my men fought with valor, lots of valor all around. We crashed the center where every human traitor was. The only Nahual there was the queen. She was close enough so that her men saw her, but far enough so that our shots wouldn't hit her. Their center gave ground, the enemy's wings held, as I put my best men on the center. They reinforced the wings for a last push. When I understood what happened, I was done for. My whole army was enveloped. 1,000 Nahuals came to reinforce the center, and I shat myself. The word is shat. I lost control, and my inner rush was no more. I grabbed my musket. I fired once, hit a Nahual on the head, saw a breach in the back. I abandoned my men, and I returned to the city. Chicken shit. I hid in the first temple I could reach. Later on, something crushed me. I do not remember what it was. The weight of your failures. Then I saw a white light that brought me to the spiritual world. They told me to F off and returned me here until I found someone who would bear my responsibility. Is there anything else you'd like to share about your process, intentions, or hopes for this game in the future? The floor is yours. Bye, the End Is Nahual. Wishlist, archaic memories. Leave us a review if you can. I want to keep making games, and I also want to keep promoting games that you may have never heard of. Do cool shit, and don't commit any war crimes, please. What a loser. Counting the corpse on the floor, were you ever happy? Sorry, just wondering about violence and irony, is all. So now I ask you, what would you have done? Come on, think harder. Big M. Multiple M's surround your path. You only could afford the first one. I don't know. I don't know what I would have done. I don't know what I would have done if I conquered a city and lost everything because I was a fool. End. Negating your future will provide you sorrow and despair. I didn't say anything. I don't care. I crave my own death in peace. Know this. I commanded thousands, 3 cities, 150 ships, and a green parakeet. Was it named Paul? I started from nothing. I wasn't shit, and I became one of the most powerful men on the world. You ain't shit. You're nothing to the rest of the world. You'll be the greatest bitch of them all. Thanks? Question mark. The power to change the world will be yours, and you shall be named the Great... More words. It's the same word. Teo Koyani. Not the small one, not the medium one, the great one. The Venti Teo Koyani. This one, the one who will give form to humankind and make its own. So as I already said, just finish this puzzle and let me be one along the fire guardian who protected me all these years and the foes who I slaughtered. What's your puzzle again? Until my enemies. Description. Enemy. Separated we mean nothing, except for the E that means energy, the M that could mean magnetization, and the N that could mean a unit of force. If you take that meaning and many others that surround them, they are meaningless, but together they will provide you with the happiness you need. What is this? Why am I doing this? I could have died over there, and now I'm doing a dumb puzzle. From where I come from, this is what we do all day while other people butcher each other. Some are proud of big triangular temples, great warriors, great tapache. Me and my people love puzzles. They give meaning to our lives, they keep our minds sharp, and we have survived the Nahuals for hundreds of years. I managed to escape from my mistake. The universe and gods provided me with what I needed and guided me here. And now a dirty spirit is the only one that would help me getting what I want. Could you effing please just finish the puzzle? And make them proud. You Chihuanahuali. Mom! Should be so much better at pronouncing all this. Grandma! Doing everyone so proud right now. Mix. Oh wait, not mix. Place. Place. End poem 3. Dying at the speed of light. Is that it? I needed to submit you to this exposition trip. As you may have guessed. I had to prepare you for what is coming. You could be the one that ends this. You could unite Atlan and destroy the Nahuals once and for all. So that humanity can start killing each other as the gods wanted. Yep. You only talk about your life. You couldn't teach me less if you wanted to. Hey, I can do whatever I want. I'm going to disappear someday. Might as well have some fun. You told me about your quesadilla emporium, and you didn't tell me about who or what might help me. What teacher only talks about his life instead of the subject matter?
This is my story, and you're not part of it.
You would be so surprised. Attend a college or university. Side note, my mom thinks she's hilarious that every time people ask, where'd you get the name Casey from? She goes, well, we were debating it and said, Casey, Keno, Casey, Keno, Casey, hot, hot, hot. Super clever, never been heard before. Thrilling content. What's next? What the F am I going to do now? I don't care anymore. You solved this, now it's your problem. Remember, don't be dissuaded by expectations. Be whatever you want. Be the final boss on somebody's story, for what I care. And be happy, but not too much, or you wouldn't strive for greatness. And if you really want help, find my last apprentice. He could help you in your murdering adventure. Awesome. Everything you talked about happened like 300 years ago. He has the curse of living a lot. The curse of living a lot. You could have told me about him. No time. Have to super die. Okay then, go super die. Now the gods will receive me with all of their glory and raise me as one of them all. But do you deserve it? I'm gonna vote no. Goodbye. Bye. Huh. It's one way to go. Little Witch, do I wait for something or what the F? Well, that I think was a super strong start to this game that I'm now really, really excited to dive into. The writing is really funny and quirky and punny and nuanced, and it really appeals to my sense of humor. So I'm excited to play this on my own time, or if anyone's really into this, let me know, and I can continue posting play videos of it on this channel, and that goes for literally any game that I ever talk about ever. If people are into seeing more of it, I would love to show more of these amazing works. I think all these developers are so incredibly talented, and to be able to showcase even a little fraction of what they're doing is just awesome. It's a dream. And then being able to talk to them just adds such another layer on top of that. So thank you so much for tuning in and diving into these really funny puzzles with me. This game has such a pretty art style, and you can tell that so much time and attention has gone into it. The wordplay is hilarious. The characters are really funny and just super unique. I haven't seen anything like this, and I can't recommend it enough, honestly. So, a hidden gem. I'm so glad that I was able to talk to the developer about this and kind of learn more about this game, the messaging, and the world. Really, really awesome experience. I would like to extend a heartfelt thank you to Blas for his time and responses, as well as everyone who made this exciting game possible. The End Is Nahual, if I may say so, is now available for purchase on Steam, and I highly recommend checking out the Mexican Entertainment System bundle as well. Until we meet again, please feel so very free to like, subscribe, and share. And as always, thank you so much for being a part of this little ecosystem.